It's time for the Conduit review for the Wii. Well, it's about freaking time, family video. I've waited 25 days to play this game. You said you would have it in stock 3 days after its release. Then you said a week after that, and then another week after that. Until finally, after 25 long days, it arrived, and now I'm reviewing it. For those of you who are wondering, I don't buy games unless I am 99.99% sure they are going to be worth it, and I was not 99.99% sure on the Conduit. So please don't write me crap telling me, well, why didn't you just buy it? Thank you. This game is amazing. The story starts out with you waking up from being knocked out in a subway tunnel. A guy comes on your radio telling you to check your suit's systems to make sure everything is in working order. This is pretty much the tutorial of the game. After you get to the end of where you're going, you see a huge conduit. Yes, conduit, not conduit, plastered on the wall. After you kill off all the defending aliens in the area, the game goes to a cutscene and you step through the conduit. After that, the game sets back 5 days in the past to where you start your real beginning. Your name is Michael Ford, an agent for the Secret Service who has been assigned by the Trust, a shadow government organization. You are guided by John Adams, the commander of the Trust, who sends you on a mission to retrieve the ASE, or All-Seeing Eye, that a terrorist named Prometheus has stolen from the Trust. That's as much as I can go into the story without spoiling it. Now I have to say, I'm not a real big fan of first-person shooters, mainly because I'm not that great at them. But there are some exceptions. I loved all the Metroid Prime games, the Halo games, GoldenEye 007, and Chex Quest. I know, Chex Quest was a skin for Ultimate Doom, but hey, I was 7 years old and it was freaking awesome. But anyway, I don't really care for first-person shooters because I have a hard time using the target system with an analog stick. But with the Conduit, you use the Wiimote to point and shoot at the screen and move with the analog stick and the nunchuck. The controls are practically perfect. There are so many ways to customize the controls in pretty much any way to fit your need. You can also mix and match the buttons to your liking. Don't like where a button is placed? You can switch it with any other button to make it feel the most comfortable for you. I use this to change the zoom button. Its default is set to the down button on the Wiimote, but I changed it to the up button instead, which made it more efficient for me. The graphics are very good, but not great. Don't get me wrong, I know the Wii has limitations when it comes to the visuals, but still, some parts of the game looked amazing, while others reminded me of old PS2 games. The frame rate stayed at a smooth 30 frames per second throughout the whole game, and I loved the effects of some of the scenarios. What I mean is, well, here's an example. If you got hit with a flash grenade, your whole screen would become a white blank and your hearing would be impaired for a bit. Another example was that if your health went down in the danger zone, your character's hearing would be muffled, your breathing got heavier, and sometimes the screen would even get a bit blurry. It was great having those realistic principles added to the game. It made it much more enjoyable. The voice acting, music, and sound effects are all terrific. Absolutely no complaints in any of those categories. Along with shooting down your enemies, the game will give you puzzles to solve with your ASE. Use your ASE to find hidden objects, messages, and collect bonuses. Now I haven't played that many first-person shooters, but I would have to say that the length of the game's single-player campaign mode was fair. It wasn't too short, but I think it could have been longer. Some of the negative points about this game is, sometimes the game would be just too difficult in some regions. The game uses checkpoints to save your progress in each level, and when you reach a checkpoint, you can't go back to the earlier places of the level. One time, I reached a checkpoint and I had no ammo for either of the 2 weapons I had, there was no ammo in the next room, I had to hack into 3 computers using the ASE while using melee combat on waves of enemies all at once. Yeah, that part really sucked. So be careful and make sure you stock up on ammo. Another part of the game I didn't care for was that most of the levels were practically the same. You'll be spending most of your time walking down some corridor or passageway, killing off the alien scum. At the end of every level, you can check on how well you did. It's nice to see if you're a well-skilled sharpshooter or a professional button masher. The game comes with extras that include achievement awards, an art gallery, and even cheats. And now, onto the multiplayer mode. I have to say, the online multiplayer was so much fun, it gave the game a better score in the end. It's that good. And even with my crappy internet service, it was still fun. You can customize your character, there are many different styles of game modes you can play, and you can battle with up to 11 other players, 12 including yourself. I don't know what it is about it, but wiping out other random people across the planet through video games is just so fun. Now the game supports the Wii Speak peripheral, but I don't own it so I can't say anything about it. And I'm not even sure if I would want to use it, and have people cursing at each other all the time, while my little brother and sister are in the room watching me play. The Conduit is a fantastic game. The controls are nearly perfect, the voice acting, music, and sound effects are all very well done, the realistic principles were a very nice feature, and the online multiplayer is amazing. The only downsides I found were, the game could have been a little longer, the graphics could have been tuned up a bit, and most of the levels looked very similar. But overall, this game was very fun to play, and will have you wasting your hours away, mainly due to the online multiplayer. This game gets a 4.25 out of 5 with the title of Awesome.